Hey, what's up, my beautiful people? Another great day here inside the Black Actors Studio. Joining me today is an incredibly talented young Black queen. You've seen her in John Wynn's Mirror Mirror, T.D. Jakes' Faith, Under Fire with Toni Braxton, also Criminal Minds and Lethal Weapon. So stay tuned.
You're tuned into Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Tune in right now.
Hey, and I like dancing. Welcome, guys, back. We are here inside the Black Actors Studio. Our guest today has made a name for herself in Hollywood. She's an attorney. She's also an actress, and you've seen her in Star, CBS's Under the Dome, Born Again version, and coming out tomorrow, premiering worldwide, The Best of Enemies, starring Taraji P. Henson and Sam Rockwell. The Black Actors Studio is very proud to welcome Chanté Bowser. What's good?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent. I am excellent.
You look great.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today.
I appreciate
You're welcome.
Thank
My
you for
pleasure.
having me.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So I just want to start off right off the bat. How does it feel? Tomorrow, some places tonight, Best of Enemies will be premiering. Like, how does that feel for you? What's going through your mind right now?
I'm excited. I'm terrified and excited because this is the first time I've actually had anything on the silver screen.
Yeah.
So I just don't know what this face is gonna look like blowing up with no makeup. It's gonna be rough for a sister.
Right.
But I'm excited because it's such an amazing film and it's based on a true story, which makes it even more timely for what we're going through in this country right now.
Right.
So I'm completely excited for people to see it.
That's awesome. Well, I'm excited to see it. That story is amazing.
It
I mean, I
is.
love Taraji, I love Sam, and I can't wait to see you in there. I'm like, oh, there go. There she goes, Chanté. Yes. Well, we're gonna come back to that in a little bit, but I'd like to start off in the beginning. Where were you born?
I was born in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Hey. All right. So how was that growing up in a VA?
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like suburbia.
Yeah.
So I always outside playing with friends. You could disappear for miles as long as you were home before, the street lights came on.
Yeah.
And even now, I go back home and I'll do the walk. From where we used to live to where we used to hang out when I was in high school, and I was like, oh my God,
Wow.
I can't believe my mom let me walk this far. She is a horrible parent. I mean, we would just disappear for hours, but it was like, you growing up and you just had fun.
Yeah.
You just went out and played, and
Right.
to be honest with you, I couldn't even tell you what we did.
Right.
We just did
Just
that.
came up with
You
games.
just came up with games.
Right.
We just make up stuff, and it was an amazing childhood.
That's nice. Yeah, it wasn't no just being on your phone, that type of stuff.
No.
Nowadays, people don't even go out.
No, they don't even talk to people anymore. They
Right.
don't go outside. They
Right.
don't know what that thing is to go in, be in before the street lights come on, and
sure.
to get in trouble when you came in after the street lights came on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Waiting for you at the door.
Where have you been? And then you always knew that if you did something at somebody else's house, your mom was going to find out about it, and you weren't only going to get in trouble at your friend's house. You were also going to get in trouble at your mama's house.
Yeah.
So it's it was a village. Everybody looked out for each other's kids, and you knew your neighbors, and people would be over for cookouts and things like that.
Nice.
Not so much anymore, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, that sounds fun though. So you had a great relationship with your mom?
Oh, I love my mom. Hi, Mom. I think she's watching now.
Shout out to her mom.
Yes.
And what was your father like in his profession?
My dad's also a lawyer.
Okay.
And so I didn't grow up with him. I grew up with my mom.
Okay.
So we have a relationship. I found him when I was 18.
Okay.
So it was different.
Gotcha.
Different.
It was different.
It was different. But you learn. You
Right,
learn,
for
you
sure.
grow and stuff like that. Luckily, I had such an amazing background with my mom, and my mom has 14 brothers and sisters.
Wow.
So I didn't just have my mom. I had 5, 6, 7 other aunties.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy. That's a lot.
it's a lot. You always got in trouble.
Right.
Always.
Oh,
If you got one, and then when they saw you, you were going to hear it from them too. So it was you could never just get in trouble with one.
So that's why you're a lawyer. No.
Yeah, exactly. You had to learn how to argue against 14 people
Right.
outside of your parent.
That's crazy. So did you have any nicknames growing up?
Oh my God. So my family calls me Tay Tay.
Tay Tay, okay.
Yeah, my grandfather called all of his grandkids Popcorn. Don't call me Popcorn. He's allowed to do that. I mean, he died.
Where did that come from? Like, was it?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know if it's because he had so many kids and he was popping them out. So he just figured
It's like pop.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So like
right.
the offsprings were popcorn, like
Gotcha.
more kernels. I don't know where he got that from.
Wow.
But everybody was called Popcorn.
Okay.
And that was it. Oh, I did have one, but it was a mean name. I was called
Wait for it. No.
I was called Bucky Beaver.
Bucky Beaver.
Bucky Beaver. Because my teeth my teeth have finally grown. My head has grown into my teeth, I should say. So my teeth were so big, and so they it was ridiculous. And I was like this, so it was like all you could see was teeth.
Oh.
So it was Bucky Beaver.
Bucky Beaver.
It was bad.
Oh, that's terrible.
Kids were mean.
Yeah, I know. People can be mean.
Can be so mean.
And then now you look back on it, it's like, whatever.
I was like, whatever. Look at me now.
Look at you now. Hey. So you had siblings, right?
Yes.
How many siblings did you have?
I have one half sister from each parent.
Okay.
I grew up with my mom's half sister.
Your mom's half sister.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that relationship was pretty close knit, right?
Yeah. Yes. Like my sister. Hi. I don't know if she's watching, but hello. Yeah. So we grew up together, and actually the way that, because my mom's sisters were so close, like I have a couple of cousins that are like sisters.
Gotcha.
Because we had a lot of females in our family.
Right.
So it was awesome. So
Nice.
we got to we were going on vacation to Mexico next week. A couple of the cousins.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool
Go
to
celebrate too.
Yeah. So you have like your sister, and then you have your other sisters, just like you had your other mamas.
Right.
So.
Okay. And so when in growing up, did you watch like any shows, and then who inspired you on the screen, and when did you get that first like acting bug?
I would say, and I'm probably going to get in trouble just because of where we are now, is the Cosby Show. You know, I can't. I mean, I for what it is, you can't take away what it did for us.
Right.
And I think that was the time when I was watching it. I was like, oh, I can do that. I go, I want to do that. How do I do that? And then because I was just like, Bucky Beaver and not cute and all this other stuff.
I mean, it was an incredible show. It changed lives in many different ways.
It did, and then you had a different world, and I was really like, oh my God, I totally want to be that.
Nice.
And then I went to HBCUs because of a different world. Like, you saw that experience, and you wanted that.
Right.
So I'm like...
So did anything like change for you? As I mean, obviously what came out with Bill Cosby and all that stuff, but like, do you totally agree with like pulling all the shows and pulling everything that's?
I don't. Yeah. I don't. I mean, I understand it, and I get why they feel that way. I think that our culture was so defined by him. By the work that he did, and the people that he brought in front of us, that to have future generations not get an opportunity to see, because you could watch A Different World on Netflix. You could you can watch the Cosby Show, but you definitely could watch that on Netflix, and it's sad because that was an opportunity for us to see an African American family where you had a doctor and a lawyer, and that was a professional family, and to see that was so inspirational to a lot of us. I mean, I won't say that Felicia Rashad being a lawyer was part of why I became a lawyer, but I will say that watching her made it possible and feasible for me that was something I could be too, because she was that. I mean, there were other influences, but growing up, when you see affirmation on television that you can be that thing, you could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer. How do you not follow that path and not feel like that didn't have an impact on you?
That's true. Yeah, for sure. You watch This Is Us at all?
I do.
So you saw Felicia on there?
Yeah.
Felicia and it's killing it. Beth's mom.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
I love that woman.
Everything she touches.
Everything she touches, is torturous. One of my really good friends is going to be on David Makes a Man. Okay. And she's a series regular. She's I think she plays a teacher of the lead. So I told him, I was like, I hate you. I hate you because you're going to be with her.
Right.
And he's like, really? And I was like, I was like, let me just sit in my hate
Right.
for about a good hour, and then we can talk
And then you
again.
get over it.
Yeah. And I don't know, as you can tell, I'm still not over it. I'm still jealous.
They'll bring you on set, maybe,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Hopefully.
You know?
I'd be like, aren't we friends?
Right.
We good, right? I pay for my plane ticket. I just went, like, what day you shooting with her?
Exactly. One day is she going to be on set? So growing up, did you study anything in regards to acting? When did you feel like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to get into?
It wasn't actually until after law school.
Okay.
I had always had exposure to entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
I had a really good friend in college who was related to Timbaland, who is related to Timbaland. And so I got to be around that. And I always found a way, some way, shape, or form to be connected to the entertainment industry.
Gotcha.
So when I went to law school, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to become an entertainment lawyer.
Okay.
But that thing was still kind of sitting within me, and I just had one of my classmates, we were talking about being in front of the camera. Mm-hmm. And she was like, why don't you do that? And I was like, I'm in law school. Like, why would I do that?
All right.
But then it just stuck in me. So then once I came out to Cali, took the bar, passed it, and then I felt like I accomplished the law school thing. So, and then I worked for a year, and I was like, I really don't want to do this.
Oh,
Like, this is not what I want to do with my life. And I went on my first audition,
mm-hmm.
and it was like the first time that I had actually stepped out and really tried for like a role that required lines.
Right.
Because I dabbled in like modeling. I mean, I don't ever want anybody to see any of those pictures. But I dabbled in modelings. I did everything except for try to like say lines on camera.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I went in for my first audition, and the role required crying, and I don't know. I just, okay, well, it says start crying, so that's what I did. And the director was like, wow, like, do you really, like, how do you bring those tears? I was like, I don't know. That's what the sign says. The sign said that right there she's supposed to start. I was just following the instructions. And that was how it started. And then once I started it, and it jumped on me. Or I won't even say jumped on me, like it opened up. And then after that, it was, I want to do more of this. And I kept doing it and kept doing it, and I kept booking. And I have a bunch of like indie movies and stuff like that when I had no clue what I was doing. I tell people all the time, I go back and apologize to them. I was like, once I actually went to school and learned what acting is, I was like, ooh, I am so sorry. Like,
hey.
And you do the best you can.
You make
with
it
what
happen.
You
Exactly. You make it happen.
You make it happen. That's the beautiful thing about indies is that there's forgiving. I mean, some of the indies that I did are like on Amazon Prime, which is hilarious. I was like flipping through the other day, and I was like, like, wait, that's me.
Wow.
How did that was like 5 years ago. How did that
crazy.
get? It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But it's also like, don't go watch that. Like, you can watch it for the other people, but for me, I was like, my acting is so much better now.
Well,
because now
you're growing as an artist.
Now I'm growing as an artist. I have a craft.
Yes, for
I
sure.
have a method, and I adjust my method for whatever the role is. And that was something that is just like, you can see the growth.
Well, for sure.
Well, at least hopefully you can see.
Hopefully we'll see. No.
Right. Let me go back and watch that scene.
So when did you come out to LA?
I came out in the end of 2015.
2000. In 2015. Nice.
Yeah.
And so I just find it fascinating, about the law school and then an actor. What are some of the aspects of being a lawyer and that you transfer to acting? Do you bring anything?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
The analysis. I mean, as a lawyer, you're getting materials in, and you have to figure out like what is the law that's applicable, and then how do the facts that you have apply to it. And then for acting, it's kind of the same thing. Yeah. You're looking at the script, you're figuring out like why your character's doing the things that they're doing for each scene, and then the overall picture and how each scene fits within whatever your character's objective is for the film.
Right.
And so it's the and I read fast, which also helps.
Yeah, that helps.
That helps. So when you get those 10-page auditions, you're like, okay, just breathe.
Nice.
But you know what I mean? So that is the benefit of, because I've read super hard when I was working, I had a case that went up to the Supreme Court that I helped write part of the brief on. That was pretty freaking awesome. Yeah, and it still didn't make me want to be a lawyer.
Nope.
My name is on a brief to the Supreme Court, but I don't think I want to do this anymore.
I hear that.
but if I get in a script or a side, I am everything shuts down,
Nice.
and I don't talk to anybody, and it's like I'm gonna put my work on it.
Right.
And so that's the great thing, is that work ethic also that comes from being a lawyer and having to study and like disconnect yourself so that you can focus on the task at hand. I think that also helps.
That's awesome. Yeah. So what's speaking of like getting prepared for a role, what's one thing that you like to do all the time to get prepared and get into the mindset of the character?
Lay in my bed.
Okay.
I have a whole setup. I took Leslie Kahn before I went to UCLA, and I also did practical aesthetics. That was another one that I did, and I got another method from UCLA, and so I take all of those and combine them.
Right.
And I really just sit down. I have my little lap case, and I have my sheets of paper, and I have my pink, my yellow, my orange, and my green highlighter, and I have my purple pen, and I do the same thing, and I don't care if it's a 5-line co-star or a 10-page series regular. Every side gets the same work.
For sure. When give a little piece of advice, because some actors out there, they find it hard to connect with a character with only one line or 2 lines or something like that. So what's something for you that you do to get you into those lines? I mean, there's only a few, but you really have to make your character stand out in those lines.
I'd say have an opinion. Whatever the character is, and I have been taught here in LA, and one class I took, the casting director was like, "Who told you that?" It's like, I'm not telling you who told me that, but because they tell you, like, when you get a co-star, don't have an opinion, like you're just a cog, so you just say the line. And I will say that all the co-stars I booked, every one of them had a strong opinion about whatever that situation was that we were in. So, like, for Lethal Weapon, that was a co-star. And my character was getting Damon Wayans to his wife, and he was lollygagging, and it's just like, no, go.
Right.
And I did that in the audition because I was like, that's just what feels right to me. Like, I feel like she would be like, you are interrupting me doing my event planning. Keep it moving. And that's what booked it. And then that's when we taped it. That when we were on set, that's what the director said. She was like, you need him to, like, go. He is in your way. And I was like, see, that's what I said.
That's exactly what you
said. That's what I said. But
Nice.
it's that. Like, have an opinion about what's going on. Like, don't listen to the whole, don't have one, just say your line. Give it your personality. Like, let yourself shine through. And if you're right, you're right. If not, they like you, they'll call you in again.
They'll call you in, yeah, for something else. You know, you never know.
You never know.
That's the thing about acting. It's like maybe one day, but
exactly. Not today.
Not today, right? So you're also featured, which I thought was very cool, because I was also featured in Parley Magazine and I'm sorry, I'm blacking out on the other one, L.A. Voyage LA. Voyage LA. So how was it being featured into those, and what did some of the things you discussed?
It was really cool because I'm a super private person. So all of this is odd. It's like really uncomfortable to me because I'm an introvert, and this is like, ooh, I gotta be on, but only for an hour.
You're doing great though.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's hard for me. I'm like sweating, but it was cool because it was an opportunity to have my voice heard. And I've met people that are lawyers who have become actors. Right. And to have that community, being able to talk to them and reach them, and just having people just learn about me and like what drives me, that was probably the coolest thing about those two. Yeah.
That sounds fun. I was like, oh, a small world.
Isn't it, right? It's a circle.
It is, right? And so you mentioned about obviously you being an introvert, and so something you also mentioned is when like you're on, you're like Sasha Fierce with the Beyonce.
Yes.
So yeah, tell us a little bit more about that.
It's this weird thing. And I'm not making this up. I promise you. It's called it's an extroverted introvert. And what those people what we are is that we really like being by ourselves.
Yeah.
I enjoy myself. I could go a whole weekend and not talk to anybody other than my mama,
You're right.
and I'm fine. Well, one other person, my Ari. Those are the two people. But everybody else can be cut off. And but when it comes down to something like this, or we're at a party or something like that, we're the life of the party.
Right.
We're going to be out and enjoying ourselves and meeting people, and then when we get home, we're exhausted.
Yeah.
It's a sucky way to be. I don't know how else to, I think it was one of the
Extroverted introvert.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's an extroverted introvert. You can actually look it up.
Yeah.
It's a personality on the, what is it? The
trait, right?
The Bing diagram. I forgot what it's called. The personality ones where it says if you're introvert or extrovert.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
it's like a mixture of both.
It's a mixture of both.
No,
and there's
I believe
people
it.
that are introverted extroverts.
Extroverts,
The other way. I'm sorry, extroverted introverts.
There you go.
Yeah, so it works both ways.
Okay, that's dope. So how do you prepare? I know you go through, the script and all that stuff, but what's something that you do on set versus like offset, preparing for roles?
Be on my best behavior.
Right? They always watching.
That was one of the best advice. One of my good friends, Kwame Patterson, I don't know if you're watching, he always told me is that they're always watching.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, and another thing, a piece of advice that he gave me that I used for the Criminal Minds one is practice. Because a lot of the things roles that I've gotten are like walk and talks, which are really hard.
Yeah,
I don't know why people think they're not hard. They're really hard. Or like you're doing multiple things and you're having to do multiple things the same time, same way, hit the same line, and so you're just like,
yeah,
that's hard. But practice, like he taught me, he was like, just while they're setting up or while the second team is up there, if you can get the prop, like keep practicing it, and so that when it comes time to film, it's second nature. So that's what I do. Is that I'll and like I said, that piece of advice saved me from Criminal Minds because there was a lot of stuff that I had to do and had to hit the mark, and it was like, wow, this is. Thank you for trusting me with this, but this is scaring me right now. I don't want to get this wrong. And so, but that's it. It's just like practicing, running my lines. I have, there's this great app called Line Learner.
Okay.
Put your headphones in, and then the lines are just coming back to you.
Reads back to you.
And so you can hear it, and so that it just becomes second nature to your body.
Nice.
And then if you're working with the prop that you have to deal with, or whatever props you have to deal with, you're putting that muscle memory into your system. So that's what I like to do. Like instead, it's very tempting to just sit and sit in your little director's chair.
Oh yeah.
It's very tempting.
Of course, do something.
Exactly, but it gives you helps expel that nervous energy.
Right. Okay. For sure. And so you're pretty spiritual,
yes,
right? Pretty spiritual person. And working with TD Jakes, how was that? Because I'm a huge fan of TD Jakes.
I will tell you that when I learned I got the role, I was in Atlanta. I was actually filming Best of Enemies. I had just come from my wardrobe fitting, and I had been placed on hold, but I was just like, if it's mine, it's mine, or whatever.
Right.
And I can tell you that when I got that phone call, I literally cried.
Wow.
I cried. I had to pull over because I was crying so hard because I was like, I'm going from Taraji on Monday and Tuesday to Tony Braxton and TD Jakes on Thursday and Friday, and then Monday of the next week. I couldn't even have prayed for that because I have been a huge fan, and I listen to him every Sunday. He's what helped me transition from listening to him and watching him is what helped me transition from being a lawyer to being an actor, from having a steady income and vacation days and sick days and 401ks to having nothing.
Yes. Living life one day at a time.
And that is a wink and a prayer.
Yes,
and
it is.
that he helped me transition to that. And so when I was on set, his media person, we were talking about that, and I, because I was gone from home, I was going to be away from home for a couple of weeks. I brought my book with me. I have a journal that I write down all his sermons in. Right. And I had it with me, and I had it on set. And he was like, "You have it really?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I went and he was like, oh, go get it. So I was like, okay. So I went and got it, and I was like, flipped through, and I said, see, this is January 1 all the way until today. And he was like, wow. He was like, that's pretty awesome. He was like, do you want to film a message to Bishop? Because he wasn't coming on set, at least while I was there, he wasn't coming on set. Okay. And I was like, oh, of course. I was like, and I'm like snotting and I don't have any I'm just like, thank you, because you saved my life. I just like when I thought my darkest days, I legit thought it was only going to Bishop. Next thing I know, they posted it on Instagram.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know until it was tagged, and I was like,
wow.
Oh, that was only supposed to be.
By the way. Wow.
Yeah. So that was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. But I mean, I think it got like 55,000 views.
And he responded. Did he?
Yeah.
For sure.
I was like, that was so cool. So they posted it, and they were like, one of our e-church members like prayed for a role, and she was able to get it. And I mean, that's true. It was in my. Even before he started producing, I wanted to be able to work with him at some point.
Right.
Something with the church. Never thinking that, I would get a chance to like him and Tony Braxton, who I just...
Yeah, Tony. How was working on set with Tony?
Can I say I stalked her?
Well, you did.
I shadowed her.
You shadowed her?
I was like, Tony. Just like, hi. Because it's like it's somebody who I still listen to her first album.
Yes. Oh my God.
Another sad love song. Boomerang. Like
right.
all of that. And so to be on set with her, and it was just so it was like her first movie role. So she, was of course nervous.
Right.
And so we were making her, and I was like, oh my God. I'm telling Tony Braxton that we have her back. I can't believe I'm saying this to Tony. Like, I couldn't process that. And that was the best thing ever, because it was like a week of just working with people that you never thought. Or actually 2 weeks of working with people that you never thought. I thought I had another 5 or 6 years.
Right.
Before I would get a chance.
You never know.
You just
never know.
You don't control anything, and God will just be like, boom, here you go.
Exactly. But you be prepared for it.
And you gotta be prepared.
All right.
It was like, that's an example of it. I just happened, not just happened, I always carry that notebook with me. And, people will say things like, oh, yeah, I'm an e-church member. I have been an e-church member since, I think, 2008. So I was like, I'm not playing with y'all. Like, I've been every Sunday paying my tithes.
Right.
Even when I didn't have a quarter to give, I gave that quarter.
Yeah, right.
So if this is how God is paying me back, I'm going to keep taking.
You'll keep taking, right?
Y'all can keep having them last quarters.
For sure. And then your credit, I mean, you got some great credits. Lethal Weapon, I mean, with Damon Wayans. How did you feel when he decided to step down from the series?
That was interesting.
Yeah? It shocked you?
It did.
Yeah.
It did. And, I mean, I actually got a chance to meet him a couple of weeks later at a writers' conference.
Okay.
I think it was at Loyola Marymount and LMU, yes. And so he was even more gracious in person. Yeah. And it was so funny because I was like, do you remember me? He was like, am I supposed to? I was like, I just saw you like 2 weeks ago.
Am I supposed to?
I was like, I won't take any offense by that. You see a lot of actors. There's a lot of actors.
How many people they probably see on a daily basis. Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to take that personal, even though I went in the corner and cried for a little bit and I came back. I was fine. I was okay.
Yeah, he was just like, he was saying he had to, he just wanted to go back on stage, and just leave the film with it, which is everyone, gets tired sometimes.
Right.
You work 16, 20-hour days and back and forth. So, and Star, I'm a huge fan of Star and Empire.
Yeah.
Lee Daniels. I had Leah Daniels Butler on an episode earlier this season. And so what was that experience like, working with Lee and just being on Star and in the set with the girls? And
it
how was that?
Awesome, because I was there the first season.
Yeah.
Or was it the second season? I think
it was the first season, right?
It was the first season.
Nurse, yeah.
And that was cool because everything was so new for everybody, and it was just fun watching them. And Lee is very particular.
Yeah.
Like, they kept taking pictures. I was just a nurse. And they kept sending in pictures. He was like, I don't like that. I don't like this. They were like, take this off. Put this on. I was like, really? I was like, I have like 3 lines. I didn't know it was this intense.
Right.
But it was so cool. It's like, and you love that because like when people are particular about their work, that's how you can appreciate the craft.
Right.
Because he has a vision about what he expects, for his show. And that is amazing. I hope like when I get to that point where I have my own show, I'm remembering that particularity that he had. I thought that was fascinating.
That's awesome.
I was like, I'm just a nurse.
I'm just like, I'm good. I'm good.
Like, okay, my shoes? Okay, you don't like my shoes. Okay. I'm not going to take this personally.
Right. I hear that about him, that he likes things done a certain way, but I mean, he's killing it. Killing the game. Killing it. I'm like, you do what you got to do to make it work.
Amen. And if that's what we need to do, then we all need to step up our game.
Exactly, right? You know what I'm saying? So, best of enemies. Oh, my God. All right.
Yes.
So, talk to us about the audition process and what you felt like when you first found out you booked it.
Oh, well, I had a really good friend who I was staying with because I was trying to find an apartment, and she had a 70s outfit because I didn't want to audition in a regular outfit. I wanted to get as close to the late 60s, early 70s as I could, and so she lent me her outfit, and I picked out my hair, and I was gonna you're just gonna see me as close as to the 60s and 70s as you can. And so we taped it and got the call back. So I flew to Atlanta for the call back, and I did the thing that they always tell actors not to do, and I thank the Lord that Deborah Zane, thank you, did not kick me out and blacklist me for the rest of my life, because there's a scene where my character hugs Taraji's character when she comes in, and I hugged the casting director. You already know. That is 100% the biggest no-no. You do not touch the reader, and you do not touch the other person.
Wow. Hey, well, they remembered you.
They clearly remembered me. I remember leaving and being, just saying to myself, I am so not getting this role. I cried because I want to work with Taraji.
Right.
I can't believe that I made this mistake of I just got so into the scene, and I was like, let's add water. And it was like, and I was like, stay in the scene, don't lose it.
Just keep going.
Just keep going, because the camera's going to see when you freak out.
Right.
So I was just I'm just going to just finish the scene or whatever. And he was like, Robin was like, oh, that was great. And I was like, oh God, okay. That's fine. So we did it again, and then a couple of weeks later, booked it, and I was like, "Ooh, nothing but the grace of God."
Right.
Nothing but the grace of God.
And you took that risk, though. You did. Well, I mean, they tell actors not to do a lot of things, right?
Right.
So you got to go against the grain a little bit if you want to make a statement. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I applaud you for that. That was dope.
Thank you. And it was so. And it wasn't the thing. It was completely accidental. It was just that I had gotten so into the scene. Right. I was like, she's there. I'm going for it. I'm hugging her. Don't do that. Please don't do that. You will totally get in trouble if you do that. This is one of those exceptions.
Exactly. This is one of those.
Don't do that. Don't touch them. You never touch them.
Right. They're like, with her face, was she just shocked?
She was shocked. I could tell because she tensed up.
Yeah.
And I was like, just keep going. That's all I kept saying to myself.
She didn't even hug you back.
No, she was like, I was like, oh my God, this lady's going to blacklist me.
Right. Never hire.
Never hire, because they do keep lists.
Oh yeah, they do.
Don't hire this girl.
Right.
She don't know how to keep her hands to this. It was like, I'm from the South. We hug everybody.
Right. Get free hugs, We
get free hugs.
Right.
We touch, we hug, we always. No,
right.
Just don't do that during an audition.
Yeah. That's not. I wouldn't recommend it, but it was great that this happened.
Yeah, it worked out.
That was your path.
Exactly.
Right?
And so I got to set, and I got to keep hugging Taraji.
That's dope.
Each take.
I
was like,
how many takes did you have to do?
I think we only did 3 or 4 for that particular one.
Okay.
Because I didn't have to feign or act or any excitement.
Right.
It was totally when I come around that table, I get to hug Taraji. I just, instead of saying Taraji, I said, Miss Atwater.
Right.
That was the only difference.
Right,
I just
exactly.
switched out the names. I was totally, that was 100%, that was not acting.
Right.
That was just
like,
pure joy.
I'll hug Taraji
I just hugged
again.
her.
Right.
It's like, oh, we need another take? Okay, yeah.
Got it.
Go. I get to hug her again.
That's nice. That's awesome. Did you interact with Sam at all on set?
I did. And he is so awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he came in, and it was me and the other woman that's the other hospital administrator. And he was like, you guys mind if we run the scene? Sam, you want to run the scene?
Right. I was like,
we will run this scene.
Of course.
We're not going to tell you no.
Right.
And so we ran the scene a couple of times, and he was like, great, guys, thank you. I was like, can I give you a hug? Like, I'm hugging. I was in a hugging mood on set. So I gave him, he was like, I said, well, I'm from the South. We hug when we speak to people. So I gave him a hug, and so he left out, and then the director came back, and he was like,
Nice.
that was awesome. But then, so we shot. And it was fascinating to see how he worked, because I didn't work with Taraji until the next day.
Gotcha.
So it was interesting to see how both of them, how they approached the character and how they approached the execution of the scene.
Right.
And both of them are studies in stillness. They're not fidgety people, and they're very, very still and very, very small. And so watching him, and then how he executed each take and the decisions that he made, was just like, wow. It's like you're sitting here watching a master working.
Right.
And so it was awesome after we finished shooting, because our scene was pretty much the whole day for us. But they had just come off a super emotional scene. And so people were still kind of, feeling that residual energy. And he walked up to us after, and he was like, thank you for being so generous. I was like, you saw what I was putting down, didn't you?
Right.
He was like, he said, I got it.
Nice.
I got it. And because I was trying to push him to say the N-word, like I was trying to behave in such a way as a African American at that time, that is instigating a fight with the Ku Klux Klan. Like, this man was the head of the Ku Klux Klan.
Right.
So I was like, what can I do to push him to want to call me out my name? And part of it is that because my character is the head administrator, so she's the co-head administrator, and she's black, and he didn't want to speak to me. And so to make him do that, so I was trying to push that energy towards him, and that kind of, being really uppity and just like, you don't scare me, Mr. Ku Klux Klansman, and I don't really care about you. And it was amazing because he felt it.
Wow.
And he was like, thank you for that. He was like, that helped me.
That's
and
awesome.
I was like, oh my God.
There you go. Feeding Sam Rockwell. You better go.
Sam Rockwell. That's fancy now. Like, I can just get off the stage and leave now. Okay, we good. Okay, we're going to just yell cut.
Right. You did that. That's
Yeah,
nice. So
that was
what
awesome.
about the story, did you feel like, especially now, I mean, Hollywood has changed, drastically, obviously, and then after post Wakanda and all that, Wakanda Forever, all that. What's your opinion on where Hollywood's going as far as with minority groups, and how you think this story ties into the overall, journey of where Hollywood is going?
Well, I think that where we're going is more diversification of the industry, not just in front of the camera, but behind the camera. From the writers' room all the way up to executive producers. I mean, you're looking at Lena Waithe and Holly Berry. All of these people are. Lena wasn't in front of the camera, but you know what I mean. Like they are producing not just one show; they're getting multiple shows on different, networks. And I see more of that. I see more opportunities. And interestingly, I was just in a class the other day, and one of the ladies said, "It's a great time to be a person of color." In Hollywood. And I don't care how we got here. I get it. I have a lot of friends that have been here over 10 years and have, fought the good fight. But if that means that we are getting to a place where there's more opportunities for everyone, I mean, there are over 400 shows and a number of movies being shot every year. why can't everybody have a chance? Why can't the door be open? Why does this particular co-star only have to be a particular race?
Exactly.
I mean, look at Linda Lowy and Shonda Rhimes, how they cast. They do colorblind casting. That's how it should be. It should be not about the skin tone, unless that's necessary to tell the story.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it should be about who's the best actor for that particular role. Who brings who brings that character to life for what you're trying to do. So I think that we're seeing more opportunities for that, and it's not a just like, we need to check the box, and it's like 13% this or 10% that.
We got everything covered.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. Like this group is 50% and this group. It's not that. It's really about people's minds being opened up to see that everybody can bring something different to the role, and it doesn't have to race doesn't have to be the first factor. It's really truly about what the actor brings to that, and do they tell the best story.
Right.
And so what I think Best of Enemies does is continues the trend that we're seeing of movies about Black folks in our excellence.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Anne Atwater was a firecracker. She was a total firecracker, and she got, by her own method, she got C.P. Ellis to change his mind. He went from a devout racist to her best friend.
Yeah.
And it shows that hate is taught. It is something that's not inherent, that people can unlearn it.
Yes.
So it not just applies to Hollywood, it's where we are in this world right now, is that we have to understand that hate is not taught, is not inherent. People just don't come out hating. Babies can hold, they hold each other's hands and don't pay any attention to that. And so that's what it is, and it shows Hollywood that that minorities, and when you have movies that have a diversification of the cast, are still successful.
Right.
Are just, if not more successful than movies that are just all of one, if it's an all white cast. So that is what I think that this movie will help to do, is open up the world's eyes to change, and to keep Hollywood's eyes open with the little toothpicks open. That if you diversify your films, more people will come and see it.
Right.
I mean, that's just the bottom line.
Relate to them.
Yeah.
I love how you said, it just continues Black excellence.
Yes.
Yeah, it really does.
It really does.
I'm excited to see it, and I hope y'all go see it too.
Yes.
Go see it. So I'm just going to ask you a couple questions to finish us off here. So some fun questions here. What's one of your favorite words? Oh
my gosh. Oh, I actually told somebody the other day, I think it's legit.
Really?
I don't know why.
Okay.
It's just, I like saying that a lot.
Legit.
And I don't know if it's just some random, Gen Z person just kept saying it, and so it snuck its way into my vocabulary, but it's like legit.
Legit. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
What's your least favorite word?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I don't really have a least. I'm an avid reader.
Okay.
So I love all words.
Okay.
I love all words.
Okay.
And persnickety. That's my other favorite word.
What is it?
Persnickety.
Persnickety.
Yes.
Can you tell
particular.
the viewers?
It's very particular.
Very particular. Okay.
Very particular.
It's like some people might not know what.
It's like, what is that?
What
is that like
just...
Lemony Snicket?
Right.
Like, what is that?
Like, what in the world did she just say?
I read a lot, people. Just roll with it.
What's one of your favorite books?
I will say anything that James Patterson writes.
Okay.
That's my favorite author.
Oh, nice.
That's totally my favorite author, hands down.
Awesome. Okay. Why? Why is he?
I think, my mom is an avid reader, and she got me started.
Gotcha.
And so, why I love mysteries, and I love Alex Cross.
Yeah, Alex Cross. Yeah.
Once I got into the Alex Cross world, you couldn't pull me out of it. And I mean, I totally, when I remember my mom and I were talking about who could play that role, and we saw who they cast, and we were like, yes,
nice.
That is who we saw. And
Really?
It's so amazing to see that come to life, because he just breathes Alex Cross.
Right.
And so, that's my favorite one.
Okay. All right. What profession would you not do if you weren't doing acting?
I would say be an astronomer.
Astronomer. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Real odd one, right?
Right. I was not expecting that one. I was thinking. Thinking like plumber, maybe. No.
I would actually do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
no, only because they're, as much as I like being by myself, they really are, because they have to be in these remote places to get away from like light pollution and things like that.
Very true.
So I actually thought about being an astronomer when I was much smaller.
Wow.
Astronomer or meteorologist.
Meteorologist, yeah.
And yeah.
That's okay.
I like being by myself, but not all the time.
All this time. Right. All right, so heaven exists and you get to God. What would you like to hear him say to you?
Great work.
Yes. I like that for sure. And so what's one of the things you love to eat?
Oh, I'm going to sound so fat. Five Guys burgers and fries?
There you go. Keep it original.
Just keep
Five Guys.
But only the single, not the
single.
double.
Okay, not the double.
Not the double.
We know where she's going after this now.
Yeah. Bacon, was it junior bacon cheese?
Hey, we don't judge.
And a small fry. Not a large
small
one.
fry. And a Diet Coke. No.
No. I might get that bacon vanilla milkshake.
Okay.
Or a root beer. I don't know which one it's going to be, but it'll be one of those.
Okay. I used to love root beer. Root beer is my favorite.
That's my favorite.
When I used to drink pop.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for joining me today, Chanté. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Yes.
And everyone, please go check out The Best of Enemies tomorrow, some places tonight. And this is going to be an incredible movie, and I can't wait to see you in it. Tell everyone where to find you on social media and all that good stuff.
Well, Chanté Bowser is my name, and it's also my social media handles, so Twitter and Instagram, both. And then I have a website, chanté.me. As you can see, I'm not original. And that's it. That's where you can find me.
Yeah, so very easy to find her. And you can check out everything that's coming up with her career and all that good stuff. And thank you again.
Thank you.
It was a great pleasure having you. And I'm your boy, Danny Royce. We'll see you next time inside the Black Actors Studio. Same day, same time, same place. We'll see you. Have a good one.
On behalf of our BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Check out our Black Hollywood Live YouTube page for even more great programming and amazing content, and be sure to subscribe and like our channel when you do. I'm your BHL host, Nakia Monet, and you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom or at Black Hollywood Live. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.
Here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.